What's good? What's good? Yo, the Detroit Pistons escape again. I'm gonna say escape. I'm gonna use the term escape again from the Boston Celtics. And there's a whole lot we gotta get into about this. I know a lot of y'all been on me about this whole take that we need a real point guard on the Detroit Pistons roster to align next to Cade Cunningham. We're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna get into all of that. With that, before I even dive into that, yo, happy Martin Luther King holiday. I know it was yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to get on yesterday. So we're getting on today. We're going to start with that. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. We just celebrated his birthday yesterday. Um, he's a historical figure I've loved to study over the years. I'm a big history buff. I love studying history. And one of the interesting things about Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is that he never actually wanted to become a civil rights leader. He was kind of backed into that role because, well, his church was bombed, right? And the four little girls that were killed in Alabama, it was his church, it was his people, right? And so he had to figure that out. He had to step in, he had to say something, he had to do something. But what's really interesting, what I really appreciated about his story is the person who came right before him, Vernon T. Johns. If you ever get a chance, James Earl Jones plays that character in a rendition of his story. But he was a pastor who came before Martin Luther King at the church that he would be at eventually. And there's a whole story backdrop about him. But all that's to say is Martin Luther King Jr. is a historical figure I really appreciate, I venerate. He's an ancestor, he's an elder, he's someone that I've had an opportunity to learn from through studying him, reading about him. And I want to say happy MLK Day to all of you out there. I hope you have an opportunity to celebrate. If you ever get an opportunity to read some of his speeches or listen to them online, uh, Beyond Vietnam is my favorite of his. Beyond Vietnam and his letters from a Birmingham jail. Those are all classics, but definitely check them out. Take some time to read about them. You know, there is a holiday for a reason for him. Sometimes we don't know the reasons behind a lot of these holidays and why we celebrate this and that. This one, I recommend that you take the time to get to know. With that said, um, this was one hell of a game. Oh, Rio Shamar, that's what's up. James Earl Jones grew up in your town in Michigan. He's one of my goats when it comes to this acting game. He's one of my goats. Definitely classic. Um, this game was a hell of a game. You could tell from the very beginning. From the very beginning, this was going to be nip and tuck, back and forth. This is going to be highly contested, hard fought all the way through, and it did not disappoint. And there were so many parts of this game that we have an opportunity to reflect upon in a lot of ways, because these are the games that teach us about ourselves. These are the games that teach us about our team. These are the games that tell us exactly where we're at and where we still have to go. These are the litmus tests. These are the games that are going to grow us the most, not the games where we're blowing people out. You know, like beating Indiana, that wasn't going to tell us nothing about this team, right? Uh, they didn't even have their starters. They didn't even have their starters, right? No Pascal, no Nemhard, no Matherin, right? So we weren't going to learn a lot about ourselves against a team like that. But against these Boston Celtics, who have the second best record in the Eastern Conference, now they are, let me pull out the stats, standings, 5.5 games behind us for that number one seed. We put them at 5.5. If they had won, well, I think they would have been at 4.5. They've been eyeing us. And that's kind of the scary part about this. And I'm going to say scary because it's a reality. When coaches coach against the teams that they know that they are likely to have to face in the playoffs, they scheme against you differently. They give you what they want to see out of the game, and they give you what they want you to get out of the game. That means sometimes that they are going to play rotations and roster lineups that don't always make sense. That you're going to look at them and be like, well, why are you playing this guy and not that guy? Right? Why didn't Jordan Walsh get as many minutes as he did prior? because Jordan Walsh did a hell of a job against Cade. But all of a sudden you remember, oh yeah, Sam Hauser got hurt in the game against the Pistons last time at the beginning. Oh, okay, so maybe they were looking at something else, right? Maybe they were seeing what a different lineup could potentially look like. This game was a game that is going to give us a lot, not only to think about in terms of our team, but also in terms of what the other teams are thinking of and how to prepare for us. One of the things that should be scary for us, should be scary. We should really think about this. Is they did not have to put their best athletic perimeter defenders against Cade Cunningham in order to slow him down. They didn't have to. They didn't have to. They were able to put Sam Hauser on Cade Cunningham to slow him down. And then they can rotate through Derek White and Jaylen Brown. But they didn't have to sacrifice offense in order to defend Cade at a high enough level. Keep in mind, the best defenders against Cade in past games, in the past 3 games before this last one, was guys like Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez, Josh Minot, and then Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Those guys did an amazing job against Cade. Slowed him down tremendously, cost him a lot of turnovers. This game, Jordan Walsh came off the bench instead of starting. Only played 16 minutes. I'll say only, because he went from starting to now on the bench 16 minutes. Then you have to look at Hugo Gonzalez, who also got significant minutes in the past, only played a minute 47. Josh Minot, who had significant minutes in the past, did not even play. He's out with an injury. Sam Hauser, who got the start, played 27 minutes, had 16 points, shot 4 of 7 from 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 fouls. Well, we're going to get into the Cade injury with that hand. We're going to get into that because we need to talk about something I've been saying. When I said we need a point guard, we need a point guard. It's with the outlook of we need somebody to make the game easy for Cade Cunningham. When was the last time we seen somebody set up Cade for a wide open look? That wasn't on an offensive rebound kick out. Right? When was the last time that we seen Cade score easily? When was the last time he's getting the ball in his spots at the elbow, beneath the free throw line, quick turn and shoot over the top, right? No contact, not getting beat up to get to the rim, not hitting the floor, having to go to the free throw line. You have to understand, when you hit the ground that many times, it takes a toll on your body. Just look at D Wade, right? We called him Flash, but really his second nickname was Crash because he was constantly crashing to the floor. Allen Iverson, right? Constantly crashing on the floor. By the time that both of them hit 30, that was almost it. That was almost it for their career. 31, 32, already out the door. Because physically, it takes a toll on your body. When we think about when I keep suggesting, and I'll say I because I really don't see anybody else. Everyone is content with Cade playing point guard. They think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Look, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Cade Cunningham, but I'm not going to ignore what I see. I'm not going to front on you, right? Russell Westbrook, one of the top leading assist point guards all-time history, could never get out the first round after Kevin Durant. He couldn't lead a team, no matter how many MVPs, no matter leading the league in assists. There are levels to what it means to be a facilitator and a point guard. There's a difference between being able to make great passes and make reads versus running your team, ensuring there's flow, making the game easy. I'm gonna get into all of that. But before I dive in, yo, as always, if you can smash the like button for me. Look, 23 people in the chat, 6 people only like the video. Do me the favor, smash the like button. It's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. So I really appreciate all the love and support. Appreciate you just being here. This is a dope community. And don't forget, hit subscribe, the bell for notifications. And if you haven't already, consider becoming a member in 2026. It really helps with the ongoing um, production of this channel. Uh, and I really appreciate all the love and support. I really do. Let me get to some of these folks in the chat. I like to give a quick salute before I dive in. Donovan, yo! Ria Shamor, what up, though? Kingmaker, as always. Good to see you. Happy MLK Day. JR, get up. Yo, what's good? What's good? Let me see. We got Jamoko3. What up, G? What's good? Classic 76. It was cool to hear out of town announcers analyze Cade's game up close and personal in real time and give him props. It was, though. It was. And everybody gives him props. And I think that he's due those flowers. He's that talented. At the same time, I also think that there are things that we need to fix as an organization to put around him so that he can have longevity. Because as we see, he's not invincible. He's not LeBron. Like LeBron created this metric, this bar that I think Jordan also set, Kareem set, right? Olajuwon set. These guys who could just play day in and day out. They didn't get hurt. Their bodies didn't break down. And then for some reason, we actually pretend like guys weren't getting hurt, right? Like we talk about, oh, they played all 82 games back in the day. I'll be laughing at y'all saying that. Like Larry Bird's back didn't break down. You know, what's his name? Bill Walton didn't break down early in his career. Like uh, what's his name? For the Houston Rockets. 7'4" Ralph Sampson. Like he didn't break down. Like his body didn't break down. Like you didn't have all sorts of stars, great players, right? Who broke down early in their careers throughout the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. Come on, y'all. Come on. We actually fronting and acting like these guys don't have mortal bodies. So when we start talking about what it means to surround a star so that he has longevity and sustainability so we can have a long window for a championship, all of a sudden y'all got an issue with it. Well, we going to talk about it today. That's what we going to do. We going to talk about it. Like we didn't have Grant Hill 20 years ago, who was supposed to be the next Jordan, break down because we didn't look after his ankle. The organization didn't look after his ankle. I'm just keeping it a band with you. We don't have to agree, but I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna say just what you want me to say. Cade doesn't just need help. He needs another facilitator. He needs somebody to make the game easy for him. We're gonna dive into all that today. Let me finish giving my salutes to the chat. Classic 76 was good. Doug McMenamin, as always. Hey, my friend. It was the UNC and DUNC show yesterday. Man, yes. Calm guy, 4291. Salute, Rock. The Celtics are gonna be scary when they get Tatum back. But I got faith in my Pistons. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. They might be scary even without Tatum. You have to understand, you learn more through failure than you do through success. The Celtics are learning. They're figuring out how to beat us. And if we don't start making adjustments and get better significantly, we're going to get to the playoffs and recognize a lot of these teams have read our script and they know exactly what to do. You see the whole physicality thing. It's having less and less effect on teams. Right? Teams are more prepared for it now. We're not getting into people's heads in the same way we were early in the season. Guys are figuring out how to finish over and around Isaiah Stewart. Right? You have to see these things progressing. What's good, D-boy? I appreciate the super chat. What's good? I hope you enjoyed your MLK day yesterday, your day off. I hope you are doing well and your family is doing well, D-boy. It's good to see you. We have to understand Boston is learning. They're figuring us out. And I keep bringing this stuff. I try to bring it up early to acknowledge it so we can begin to do different. We're supposed to be this like incredible defensive team who has this scary interior lineup between Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren. Did we not see Boston come in and decide they were going to get on the offensive glass? Did we not see Boston out rebound us 45 to 41? 14 offensive rebounds to our 9. These teams are figuring us out. They're like, oh, yeah, their guards and wings don't box out. So you can crash the offensive glass. How long have I been saying we don't box out? Oh, push the tempo against the Detroit Pistons. You know why? They don't have good transition defense. They don't communicate, right? I've been saying this. And we squeaked out the victory. Okay, 31-10. That's what's up. Officially at the midway point, we got to talk about it. But here's the thing. Let's not pretend like we're not going to face more Western Conference teams in the second half of the season than we did the first half of the season. Let's not pretend like we're not going to have a harder finish than we did beginning, that we aren't going to have to face some real tests down the line as we prepare for the playoffs. And when we get to the playoffs, God forbid if we got to see a Miami, Orlando, Cleveland, Boston type of a playoff matchup, and we don't get teams that we're probably better suited for, like New York, right? Atlanta, Toronto, like teams that really can't push us in certain ways, right? Let's not pretend like it's just going to be sweet and easy. And I keep telling y'all, we can mess around and end up a first round exit and have a disappointing season. It happens to so many teams. I can, and that's the advantage of being a little bit older is that I remember number 1 seeds losing to a number 8 playoff seed team, right? I'm from the Bay. I remember when the Golden State Warriors beat the Dallas Mavericks, who had just finished winning a championship. It was the We Believe team, right? Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Al Harrington, right? Dampier, Jason Richardson, young Monte Ellis, right? Them boys took it to them. Right? Seattle lost to Denver, right? These things happen all the time. Let's not pretend like it can't happen to one of the youngest teams in the playoffs who are still figuring themselves out, who can't do simple things like box out. So don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger if I say, hey, he didn't box out. Doug McMenamin, yo, what's good with the super chat? Appreciate you, brother. Says Celtics are dangerous, but long term, their salary cap will force them to make decisions. True. Pistons in great shape. Say hi to your daughter, my friend. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I definitely will. I got a chance to read her a bedtime story. So I didn't read her a bedtime. I told her a bedtime story. So I like to make up stories um, and share them with my daughter. And now she knows all these stories. And she's like, yo, daddy, tell me this one story. I was like, say less, little girl. I got you. And told her so. It was a great time last night. All right. I could talk about my daughter all day. I appreciate the love, Doug. Appreciate that for sure. Oh yes, in Boston, 100% dangerous. For those of y'all who didn't get the memo, for those of y'all who didn't get the memo, Boston is dangerous as hell. They have championship pedigree, and in terms of their long-term salary cap potential, you have to look at Anthony Simons as a 22, $24 million contract coming off the books, 26 maybe. Let me pull it up right here because I like to have my stats. I like to have. Let's see. Boston Celtics salary. Boom, boom. All right, here we go. Anthony Simons is getting paid 27.6 million this year and will be an unrestricted free agent. Thank you, Doug. 27 million coming off the books. I don't think that they're too worried, especially if you think about how excited they are about Hugo Gonzalez, how Jordan Walsh is progressing, Josh Minot is progressing. So if you got Hugo, who's under contract for the next 4 years, Still got Baylor Shireman for the next 3 years. You got, what's his name? You got Sam Hauser. Let me look at his contract. Yep, he's under contract. Very team friendly for the next 4 years. You got Luka Garza for the next 2, Josh Minot for the next 2 with a team option next year, Neemias Queta, right? Jordan Walsh. Oh, they straight. They drafted Amari Williams in the draft. He's a 7-footer that gave us a little issues in the first time that we played him, right? Didn't see him last night at all, right? So, like, Boston is set up pretty. They're set up. And I think that they got their draft pick, potentially. We'll see. Boston is set up nicely. And God forbid Tatum comes back this year. Don't let Tatum come back in April, late March, knocking down shots. He don't even need to be the superstar. Jaylen Brown's got it, as we saw. As we saw last night. Jaylen Brown was like, I got it, guys. I'm good. Jump on my back. Almost made the last second shot to beat us. 32 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. And when I look at how cleanly Jaylen Brown was getting to his shots, when I say clean, I mean he's avoiding the double teams, getting to his spots, that elbow, getting to the free throw line, shot 8 of 10. Jaylen Brown is showing he's not worried about us. Look, we could put Tatum, we could put Asar on him. He's smart enough, and his team is smart enough to screen for him and get him a lesser defender. How many times did they screen so that Duncan Robinson ended up on Jaylen Brown? Now, I want you to contrast that to Cade Cunningham. And this is where I talk about our team needs to mature and grow and improve in a lot of areas. Because I watched Cade Cunningham with Peyton Pritchard on him. I believe it was Peyton Pritchard. It was either Peyton Pritchard. No, it was Luka Garza. I want to say it was Luka Garza. He had a mismatch. And then I saw, I forget who it was that screened for him. Might have been Asar. Might have been Stu. Somebody came and screened for him, bringing Peyton Pritchard. And I'm watching. And I said, usually when you set a screen is to create an advantage. If your guy already has an advantage, why are you screening for him? All you're doing is delaying his ability to try to get to his spot or changing how he has to mentally process and figure out how he's going to get to his spot against this new defender that you're bringing him. If he has Luka Garza on him, he's thinking, okay, let's get into my bag. I'm going to take him off the bounce, get into a rhythm. Boom. I'm either going to hit him with the jab, step back, shoot over the top, or I'm going to get him going left to right, right to left, and then I'm going to get by him and get to the rim. Right? That's what he's thinking. You come and you switch a guard against him. All of a sudden, he's got to switch that up and be like, actually, I don't need to over dribble against this guard. Actually, I probably need to turn and use my body and back him in and get to a spot. But then now I got to look over my shoulder and see where the double team's coming from. Right? These are all things he has to process with the ball. You have to play smarter as a team. And the thing is with the Detroit Pistons, many times we're not playing smarter. We play hard. We play harder than probably any other team out there, outside of maybe OKC and Phoenix, obviously. We play hard, but we don't always play smart. So many times I would see Jalen Duren has the ball at the top of the key, not even at the full top of the key. He's at right above the free throw line. And I see the floor beginning to flatten out. And I go, oh, perfect. Duren, go to work. You have a mismatch. You got Neemias Queta. You got, what's his name? Luka Garza on you. Oh, this is your moment. Go to work. And then I see Cade start running towards him. as if to come and get the ball. But then by the time he's halfway there, Duran is starting to try to get into his bag and attack the basket. But what Cade didn't realize is all he did was brought his defender to Duran. So now Duran's trying to score against his man and Cade's defender who's helping instead of just flattening out and letting Duran create. And then if your man helps, you have maximal spacing where Duran could kick the ball out and you have a wide open three. See, this is how you have to play off the ball also, that Cade doesn't always get a chance to. I know people are saying Cade is still injured. I don't think he's still injured. I think he re-aggravated his injury. I think he re-aggravated it, hitting the ground over and over, getting fouled. You know how many times he gets hit on that arm, on that hand, going up for shots? How many times he gets hit falling to the ground? Because he doesn't get easy looks. He doesn't get easy baskets. These are things that I keep saying. This is why I keep saying he needs a facilitator next to him. And maybe that's a better term than saying a point guard. But generally, that's the role of the point guard, is to facilitate, is to set the table for everybody. But who sets the table for Cade Cunningham? If he's going to be our number one scorer, he should not be our primary facilitator. You might ask why. Because of your distribution of energy. How much energy it takes to be able to get everyone involved, set the table for your team, and also create for yourself. It's exhausting. And if you look at Cade's style of play, as physical as it is, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have him as the primary on the ball. When did Luka go the furthest in the playoffs? When he had Kyrie. And Kyrie turned into more of a facilitator. Why did LeBron always say he needed another primary ball handler? D Wade, Kyrie Irving? Because of the energy it takes. James Harden, when did he go his furthest? When he had Chris Paul next to him. When did I mean, I can go on and on with this, right? When did Devin Booker look at his best? When he had a point guard next to him. Dirk Nowitzki, when he had Jason Kidd, Steve Nash next to him. Right? Every great scorer needs a setup guy. They need somebody to make it easy on them. This is what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of people are like, yo, Cade is, you know, top 2 in assists and he's doing all this. Yo, that's great. That's great. Russell Westbrook led the NBA in assists too and was knocked out in the first round. Was knocked out in the first round. We've all seen it. We've seen our team enough. We've seen Cade enough to know that Cade Cunningham, when he has to handle the ball handling responsibilities for long stretches, he becomes turnover prone. His legs start to go. His shot starts to become short. He becomes less efficient, and we become more vulnerable. We know this. Other teams know this. You know, and this is what I'm talking about, and keeping it real, keeping it a band. Look, I know some of these other people, I'm not gonna call out names. Not everybody, I'll say this. I'm gonna be real. You can tell different critics and people who don't play basketball, who haven't played that much basketball, and then those who haven't really had to think the game. Like one of the things I always say about coaching, you guys hear me say this all the time. Whenever I critique something about uh JB Bickerstaff, right? Because I believe, nobody is above criticism, right? Whenever I critique, I always give the caveat that, I know there's a million things that he sees every single day that I will never see. I'll never have a one-to-one conversation with Jaden Ivey in an office about how his body's feeling, right? Even if Jaden Ivey has an interview, he's not going to give you the real. But you can see that he's laboring, not laboring in terms of injury, but in terms of favoring. He's favoring that leg. You saw when he went down and he grabbed his ankle, He didn't grab his ankle because it got twisted. He grabbed his ankle out of reflex. He's still dealing with that, oh shoot, my leg. That's why he's not pushing to get all the way to the rim. That's why he's not exploding, even in the open court in a transition layup. He's not exploding. He's not dunking. He's not trying to elevate. He doesn't trust his body. That is evident. He's healthy. His body is good. For the most part, everybody plays with some sort of ding, bruise, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Soreness. He's not hurt. He's mentally not over it. He's mentally not over it. That's what we're seeing out there. At least he's getting buckets. At least he's still figuring out how to be effective, and it may help him in the long run. This in between game, he's knocking down threes. Hit two really big threes for us in that fourth quarter. That was a huge lift. We needed it. I mean, we won the game by 1 point. We needed everything that he could give us. We also needed more out of Cade Cunningham. Cade shot 4 of 17. Now you can say what you want. Oh, his hand was bothering him, etc. He didn't get easy looks the entire game. There wasn't a single play. Tissue real quick. There wasn't a single play where I said, "Oh, that's a good look." I saw him got to his spots, and he got the look that he wanted. It was a quality look, but it was hard fought. He had to bang against his defender. He had to work the pivot. He had to get through contact. He had to look out for the double team. He had to do all this extra work to get a decent look. And you wonder why he's getting banged up because we don't get him easy looks. This is one of the main reasons why I said he needs to be off the ball. He needs to catch the ball in his spot at the elbow. He needs to start off closer to the rim. Like, we can say he doesn't have spacing. Look, not everybody has hella spacing. Look, let's stop trying to replicate what you think everyone else is doing. No one else out there has this amazing shooting all around them. Right? That's not the case. That's not the case. Okay, New York has some decent shooting around. They got Karl Anthony Towns. All right, cool. He can shoot the ball. I get it. Mikal Bridges, he can shoot. OG Anunoby, he can shoot it well enough. But Brunson also shoots it well. Cade doesn't shoot it well. When you're missing wide open threes, he shot 0 for 4. And these were good looks from 3. We have to start figuring out how to make the game easy for Cade Cunningham. We have to. Otherwise, he's going to break down. And we're going to get to April like, I guess Dern's leading us into the playoffs. We're going to see a whole lot more Karis LeVert minutes. God damn. If we're not careful. If we're not careful. Yo, let me give a shout out to some of my members in the chat. I didn't get a chance to all the way. Shout out to some of the members in the chat. If you haven't had a chance to already, please hit the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing for you, a big thing for the channel. Appreciate all the love and support. Steven's Machine Room, it's good to see you. Rashad Walker, as always. Rhea Shamor, Richard DM, yo, what's good? Yeah, he's getting a bad whistle. Katie's getting a bad whistle, but you know what? We have to be able to generate better looks for him. Also, what I think Asar never guarded Jaylen Brown. I think Asar never guarded Jaylen Brown because Jaylen Brown has a lot of tricks that will get Asar in foul trouble. And we didn't have a quick enough person at the point of attack to stay in front of guys like Peyton Pritchard and Derek White. We needed more quickness. And we don't have a lot of quickness in that starting lineup. It's pretty much Asar. Duncan and Cade, not good matchups against Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. Let me see. Ray Floyd, what's good? One of my member OGs from the beginning. It's good to see you in the chat. It's good to see you in the chat. Um, oh yeah, a whole lot of comments, Ray. All right, let me get something. He said, "No team is perfect. I'm so proud of the culture. I am too. I am too. Definitely am. We're a young team. They're doing what they. I mean, the 31-10, 31-10. K's wrist is still messed up, but he still gave us 14 with 0 turnovers. And I would say that that was probably the biggest takeaway is his 0 turnovers. Though I would not say like Cade wasn't trying to get 1 or 2 turnovers. He certainly gave an effort to pick up 1 or 2 turnovers. There were a couple of passes, a couple of double teams that came because he picks up the ball right past half court along the sideline. He did his best to get himself a couple of turnovers in this game. He did. The reality is we need Asar with the ball in his hands more. We need Dennis Jenkins more. Sorry. We do sorry, but not sorry. We need Dennis Jenkins. Look, you can go back to that Indiana game. As ugly as our offense looked. I mean, it was ugly. Oh shit. Damn, it was ugly. And then all of a sudden, Dennis Jenkins comes in at the end of the game, and the shit looks smoother than a mug. I'm sitting there looking at Dennis. I'm like, he's making it look sweet out there. Like we're the ones missing it the whole time. Like we just didn't see all these openings and possibilities. Oh, pick and roll, lob, come off to the weak side, draw a defender, sling the ball to opposite corner, wide open threes from Marcus Asher. He was just reading the game against the same lineup that Cade was. The same lineup that was able to give us fits, slow down our offense in the half court, that is. All of a sudden, Dennis is figuring out with the quickness. He gets it up the court quickly. We're into our offense with 20 seconds, 19 seconds to go in the shot clock. We get 3-4 passes in a possession. We move the ball from side to side. We're getting good look after good look after good look. The sign of a quality offense is not that you make every shot, is that it generates good looks. And Dennis Jenkins runs our offense to perfection. He runs our offense exactly how we could hope it looked. At some point in time, we're going to have to say, why can't Cade do that? I keep saying my presumption is this, that Cade's not necessarily a real point guard. He can play point, just like Westbrook. But Westbrook did best when what? When he had Derek Fisher next to him in OKC. And James Harden behind him. He had other primary ball handlers and facilitators and allowed him to do what he does best, score. Same thing with Luka. Even LeBron. Cade needs a secondary facilitator who can also spread the floor and be a point of attack defender. Because if we get a Dennis Jenkins at the point of attack on defense, who's also facilitating, who's knocking down open threes, then now we can put someone like Asar Thompson on a Jaylen Brown. That revs up our defense. Now all of a sudden, that defense goes from top 5, top 10, top 1 or 2. Dennis Jenkins also does things like he communicates well on defense and on offense. He tells people where to go, where to be, what to do. He's not afraid to. Sometimes being a leader is not being afraid to be the bad guy, not being afraid to get it wrong. But I still said something because this is what I saw in the moment, and you may have seen something different. And so, okay, now hearing what you saw, okay, cool, we can move forward. But somebody's supposed to start saying something instead of just complaining. We have to get more organization out there on the court because guys aren't talking. Transition defense, who's picking up who? All of a sudden, now you got a wide open 3 to Sam Hauser in transition. Who doesn't pick him up? Like, that's wild to me. But some of it is just basics in terms of needing leadership and someone who sees the game differently. We have to be able to get to a point where we accept who Cade is and who he's not. And if we sit here and try to make him into what we want him to be, then it's going to do him a disservice too. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that. 4 of 17 from the field, 0 for 4 from three, 3 rebounds, had 14 assists. Great job. 1 steal, 2 blocks, 0 turnovers. Was a net 0 on the night. If I'm honest with you, I would rather see Cade Cunningham shoot 12 of 17, 2 for 4 from three, 8 for 10 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, and only 6 assists. I'd rather have that Cade Cunningham and let somebody else get the other 6 to 8 or more assists. Do y'all understand what I'm meaning by that? I would rather Cade become a highly efficient and effective scorer who can dominate the game as a scorer, as our number one scoring option, than be a dominant facilitator and assist getter. Yeah, see, I'm getting some Dennis Jenkins conversation in the chat. Yo, if you're not commenting in the chat, please do. Our chat conversations sometimes be better than the conversation I'm trying to have with y'all. That's why I be reading through it. Steven's Machine Room says, Dennis Jenkins, I'm assuming he's talking about, reminds you a little of vintage Kyle Lowry. Yo, I love that. I was going more Mike Conley, but I could see it. He's got more fire like a Kyle Lowry. He actually talks. He actually talks. Chris Tanneman says he's a point guard. You wouldn't dare say what you're saying about Cade, about Luka, SGA, LeBron, and Edwards. What's the difference? Um, well, the difference is those guys aren't playing primarily the point position. At least in terms of Ant, Luka, LeBron. And actually, I did say it about those guys. You must have just gotten on Chris Tanneman, um, because I literally just said, those guys were at their best when they had a primary facilitator, when they had someone else to set them up, when they had someone to be the point of attack on defense, and then primary facilitator next to them, so they can get the ball in their spots. That's why LeBron wanted to make sure he had a D Wade or a Kyrie Irving. That's what he meant by I need more help. No one else is here to run the show at a playoff level. So I have to run the entire show, and I have to be our number one scorer who can also take over and dominate in high leverage moments against the best teams. And I'm expected to lead our teams in rebounds, blocks, steals, points, assists, every statistical category like he did in the finals multiple times. Right? Like we act like that's normal to have that type of demand on someone. It's not. It's not, bro. It's not. There are very few players ever that we will see lead in that way. There's a reason why Kobe needed a Derek Fisher. Needed. Needed. Not preferred. We saw what happened when he had Smush Parker. First round exit. He needs someone. Cade needs someone who can take some of that load off of him so he can conserve his energy, so he can lead this team in the areas where we need it most, which is getting buckets. Look, I love Karis LeVert. I love the effort that he's giving on defense. He really is giving great effort on defense. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff. He gets buy-in. He gets buy-in. And this team understands it's going to win because of its defense. Our offense is nowhere near what it needs to be. Our offense, and I've told you this, you can go back in the annals of my shows, said this before many times, that our defense is going to amplify our offense because we're going to get more transition opportunities to score with the defense that's not set. We will have an opportunity to score the basketball when the defense is transitioning and not set more often because we have a great defense. And that's how we're going to make up for not having the shooting, not having the facilitating, not having the half court offensive efficiency. Some of y'all just think I'm out here hating, or as Chris Tannerman would say, nitpicking. I'm not nitpicking. I'm observing the game. I've told you I used to coach for 15 years. All right, this is what my brain does. It picks up on stuff. It's like, oh, okay, you didn't communicate on that pick and roll on defense. Nobody said who's got who. There was a switch. Isaiah Stewart, why are you over helping on? I think it was Cade's guy, and you left your man wide open, who ends up hitting a three. You guys didn't talk. Say, hey, I'm switching. Right, like you guys have to communicate. How many offensive rebounds is the other team going to get? Ron Holland, Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson. Are you going to box out today? Are you going to box out? Hello? Great defense doesn't mean much if you can't secure the board, right? These are fundamentals, and I think that sometimes you guys get confused, like it's a criticism. It is a critique. There is a difference. Criticism is like a judgment of someone. A critique is an observation. There's an opportunity to acknowledge something that we could potentially get better at. If this team was to focus on, hey, you know what? Second half of the season, we're going to be a great defensive rebounding team. We are going to box out every single time. We're going to start cheering each other for having great box outs. And we're going to focus on communication on defense. Communicate, communicate. Screen if you're helping, if you're hedging. I got you. Left, 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 right, right, right. I got you. I got you. Send them my way. Send them my way. I got you covered. Go ahead and help. I got you. Right? Like these are things that we should be communicating all the time. And that's the major difference between a team like Detroit and a team like Boston and a team like the Knicks, and a team like the Miami Heat or the Orlando Magic, right? They have some of these fundamentals down. And I keep telling y'all, we're not going to not get out of the first round. We're not going to get beat in the playoffs because we didn't have enough shooting. We're going to get beat because our fundamentals get exposed or lack thereof. That's the reality of it. That's what I'm kind of preparing for. That's why I'm saying, hey, y'all, not boxing out is kind of a big deal. Let's not pretend like we didn't lose games against the Charlotte Hornets last season, literally on a missed box out by Malik Beasley, who though he's not here any longer, right? It still was a symptom of a part of our team. Let's not pretend like we didn't lose that game off of a missed box out and a putback. How much more are we going to have to deal with that when it comes to the Boston Celtics? How much more will we have to deal with that when it comes to the New York Knicks, who say, hey, you know what's a great way to keep them from getting out in transition, which is a huge part of their offense, is just hit the offensive glass because they don't box out. So now they can't go run because we are getting the offensive rebound. That's another way to stop it. And who's to say Boston doesn't get significantly better? We saw what's his name, Luka Garza, hit 2 threes in this game. 2 for 5, 40%. If I'm the head coach for the Boston Celtics, and I'm gonna make this presumption because I can already see it. In the playoffs, he might go with Luka Garza early and often and tell that boy to fire away. Just what he did tonight. In 15 minutes, he shot 5 threes, shot 2 for 5. Had 4 fouls. Good job. 4 rebounds, 2 steals. They got great minutes from Luka Garza. Shoot, I'd tell Luka Garza, shoot 7 threes. Shoot 7. See if you can Knock down 3 of them things. That would have been the game right there. This game was close. And the reason why I love these games is because they help us to really get clarity on where our team is at and where it's not. Not every game is going to do that for us. Not every game is going to do that for us. Tell me in the chat who are we playing next? Who are we playing next? I think Detroit Pistons schedule. Oh, we got the Pelicans. Yeah, we got the Pelicans. All right. Are we at home? It's at New Orleans. At New Orleans. You know what? This is gonna be a fun game. It'll be a fun game. Tell you right now, Jeremiah Fears wants all the smoke. Jeremiah Fears, he don't care. Like who? 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 Who you talking about? K who? D boy, what's good? What's good? It's good to see you in the chat. One of my members. Appreciate my members for showing up to the lives. Um, if you haven't become a member of 2026, please consider doing so. And if you haven't already, smash the like button for me. Yo, hey, help a brother out. Yo, I got 48 people in the chat, only 20 likes. Smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. It really helps out with the algorithm and make sure people get notified that we're going live. It's an interactive chat. Get a chance to conversate with y'all about these Detroit Pistons and moving forward. And definitely hit subscribe and the bell for notifications so you get notified when I go live. Usually do so each morning around 11-ish Eastern Standard Time. Um, and consider becoming a member in 2026. All right. The Pelicans, actually one of my like lightweight kind of like favorite teams to watch, you know. Oh, and then we got Houston later. Oh, yeah, we got Houston on Friday. Ooh, you ain't said nothing but a thing. Ain't said nothing but a thing with that one. Oh, that's gonna be a good one. Then we got the Kings who've been playing better. Then we got Denver. I told y'all the back end of this month is gonna get real. And then we've got the Suns, Phoenix Suns, right after Denver. Oh my goodness, is that a back to back? No, no, 2 days later. And then we have a back to back from the Suns to the Warriors. And I guess Jimmy Butler just got hurt. That's kind of crazy. Because now they're trying to trade Kaminga with a hurt Jimmy Butler. Are they going to trade him? Kaminga already asked out. So at this point, you can't ask that boy to play. Can't. He don't want to be there. That's not going to be good for the chemistry. All he going to do, if, yeah, anyways. All he going to do is ball out and make y'all look foolish. And then everybody going to be staring at Steve Kerr like, bruh, what's wrong with you, bro? What's wrong with you? All right. All that's to say, we have a hell of a schedule to end this month. We have a hell of a schedule. Pelicans could be a bit of a trap game. We just had Boston. Now we go to New Orleans. And then we got Houston right after, back home. Sometimes pinging from highly competitive team to a less competitive team can be difficult because you can let your guard down. You can overlook them. You can assume should be an easy win, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, wasn't as easy as I thought. Similar to that Phoenix game. Trying to see, Zion's been playing, right? Juan Harris says 14 assists and 0 turnovers against a defense that's designed to stop him. Cade, beautiful floor game. I wouldn't call it a floor game. I would say that he did a great job of making the correct reads, especially when being aggressive and getting downhill, which is when he's at his best. Um, he sometimes struggles to mix in. I'm talking about Cade here. He struggles to mix in his forays to the rim, his attacking the rim, and setting the table. So he tends to be like in one total focus or the other. Then he also many times chooses the side of the court where there's the most help on defense. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that. You got 5 guys on the court. Cade is one of them with the ball. He has one guy, one offensive player on the left side of the court with only one defender. And then he's got three on the other. For some reason, he'll choose to drive to his right, to the strong side of the defense, where he doesn't just have his defender, but he's got three other defenders. And I sit there and I'm just like, why did you go that way? Normally, one of the things that we teach players is to attack gaps, to attack the open court where there's less defenders. Because it's easier. It's easier, bro. And sometimes Cade goes right to where it's hardest. And then he's hitting the floor. And then he's telling the ref, oh, I got hit. You missed the call. Well, bruh, you keep dribbling amongst four defenders. You think the referee's going to be able to see every single hand that swipes and reaches and grabs and pushes and pulls and hits? Nah, bro. Nah. Go to the open side of the court. Get to the elbow. Get to your spot. Give him a little jump hook, a little turnaround fadeaway where you're not hitting the deck every single time. Tell you, Cade needs to go and he needs to watch Paul Pierce and go watch DeMar DeRozan, right? Go watch some of these big guards, wings, who just exploited teams right in that little 10 to 15-foot range. Didn't need to hit the deck every single time. But then when they did need to get in there, they could get in there, but they had energy for it. Richard says Cade's too stubborn sometimes, for real. I think he is too. I think it's almost like he's trying to like prove something. Yo, hey, Damon Smith, yo, that's why I love y'all in the chat. That's why I love y'all in the chat. You said what I always be thinking. Cade's arms look crazy with all them scars. They've been beating his asses, not just this season. He came into the NBA with them scars. Some of them. Some of them. Those scars look crazy, bro. I'm trying to think of there's like a Marvel character had all them scars on his arms. Um, I forgot, but that's what he looked like. That's what he looked. Bro got all. He looks like an action figure. Cade Cunningham looks like an action figure. All them scratches and scars and cuts. We have to figure out how to make the game easy for him at some point. What I'm looking for against the Pelicans, and I'll keep it 100% with you. This is what I'm looking for against the Pelicans. They got Zion. They got Sadiq Bey, who used to play for us. So he gon' want his little, you know what I'm saying? Let us know y'all should have kept me type of energy. Yeah, the Wolverine. He looks like the Wolverine with them scars. Um, but New Orleans, they have Eves Messi. They got Jeremiah Fears, Trey Murphy III. They look pretty healthy. Jordan Poole is back. Jordan Hawkins. Um, Carlo Makovich, Micah Peavy, Kayvon Looney. They look fully healthy. Our defense should be able to get us this win. And at the same time, it is an opportunity for the Detroit Pistons to take steps in mastering their offensive system. Mastering it. Cade, get the hell off the ball. I know you can bring it up every single time, but let's focus on the team mastering the offensive system. I want to see 3 to 4 crisp passes in offensive possessions with our starters, not just in the first quarter, but in the third and the fourth quarter. Are we executing offense down the stretch? Are we moving the ball? Are we finding open guys? Are we making the game look easy? Yeah, New Orleans is going to get buckets. They've got guys that can score, right? But what I want to see is that we show that we can score effectively and efficiently on top of having great defense. That is what these games against bottom feeding teams are really all about. That's what it's really all about. Showing that you can have great efficiency. You can make the game look easy, utilizing your scheme, utilizing your talent, balance, working together, not just individual talents, not just Cade having to save us at the end. That's not how you want to always have to win games. Last season, okay, I get it. Coming off 14 wins, got to 44. Great job. Okay. We needed that Herculean effort from Cade Cunningham to turn things around. But that cannot be our recipe. And JB Bickerstaff's offense is good enough. It's good enough. But we have to execute it. And it starts with Cade, but also starts with JB Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon. Look, I understand why we have Karis LeVert. I get it. You're looking at Cade Cunningham take the beating he is. You're looking at the bench. Jaden Ivey is still scared of his leg and getting hurt again. Marcus Sasser's only 6'1". Dennis Jenkins was in the G League last year. You're looking at a team, Sar Thompson still figuring out his offense, even though he looked amazing on defense yesterday. Jalen Duren is still growing into a deep offensive threat, somebody you can really depend upon in crunch time when it matters the most. I get why you hang on to Karis LeVert. But at some point in time, we're going to have to make some shifts. We're going to have to really commit to what it means for this team to be at its best. And if it means that guys need to grow because of the void left by Karis LeVert, meaning guys have to become more effective scorers and shooters, but it also means that we can make the game easier for Cade Cunningham, I think there's addition by subtraction. I think that if we move on from Karis LeVert and we give Dennis Jenkins some more minutes, I think what we will start seeing is Dennis Jenkins is proving over and over that he deserves more and more minutes. And we're going to start seeing that maybe he needs to close for us as well because of his point of attack defense. He has amazing screen navigation, getting over and around screens, contesting shots at 6'4" at the point of attack, blocking shots at the 3-point line, sliding his feet, playing physical, getting rebounds, even blocking shots like Derek White. And then he's knocking down threes confidently from range. He's running the show offensively. He's getting downhill. Like, I would rather see us bet on Dennis Jenkins' development and Cade Cunningham having the game look easier for him than bank on Karis LeVert bringing us home for a playoff run. I just don't see that in the future. Now, I keep saying with a caveat, put a little asterisk, put a little asterisk. I get that we have to keep Karis LeVert's trade value high. Now, I also said, now, hey, I know Jimmy Butler got hurt. I know Jimmy got hurt. And, I hope, really do, truly hope for a speedy recovery. I hope he's okay. It looked like a knee issue. I heard he got carried off and he might be done for the season. And I hate that for him. I really do. Um, it might make the Golden State Warriors need to trade Jonathan Kuminga that much more urgent. Would they want Karis LeVert? Would they want Karis LeVert? Maybe first round draft pick? We go get Jonathan Kuminga? I'm just saying. Till it on Detroit. Yep, I feel you. I feel you. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Yo, I'm gonna get off. I appreciate everybody for coming on today. If you haven't already, please smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And consider becoming a member in 2026. Jamoke said, wait. All right, Jamal. I'm a hold for one more comment from you. While I hold for Jamoke03, let me say this. I like to leave y'all with the word of the day. Um, Look, taking care of yourself in life, is not a sign of weakness. Is not. Is not. And I feel like I talk about this frequently, but uh, it's something I really hope for everyone, for every human being. Taking care of yourself is not a sign of weakness. Knowing that you're tired and you need rest, knowing that you're hungry and you're eating something healthy, um, knowing that you're lonely and you need a friend to come over and hang out, not just somebody to sleep with, but somebody who you can laugh with, who can give you a hug, who can listen to what you're going through. Like, taking care of yourself is not a weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign of strength. It's easier to just hide away, pretend. That's easier, seemingly, because it's not easy to keep going on day in and day out, hurting, exhausted, alone. It's one of those things you're just constantly going downhill, right? All the things that we praise the Detroit Pistons culture for, being connected, everyone supporting each other, right? Well, you have to acknowledge your need for support to be supported, right? So it's counterintuitive to then say, oh, no, I need support, but I'm not going to tell anybody because I shouldn't say nothing. It's weird, bro. It's weird. Some of us have that thinking, you know, they call it stinking thinking now. It's corny. Um, but truly is. It works against you. Take care of yourself. Even if it means you got to sacrifice some things, even if it means you got to take that sick day before you wanted to and you're trying to save it up to the end of the year, even if you got to take a day that you don't have any more sick days and you don't have any more personal time off and stuff like that, and you got to take a day. You're worth it. Shit, take a day on a Friday so you can roll that thing into a weekend, but do it deliberately, do it intentionally, right? Take that day on a Friday and leave on a Thursday and go to your mama house, go to your cousins, get you some real R&R, rest and relaxation, and take care of yourself. Life is a marathon, bro. Life's a marathon. And we're not going to get through it trying to sprint from point to point to point for a lifetime. So take care of yourselves. Um, hope each and every one of you are. I hope you enjoyed your Martin Luther King Day day off yesterday. If you haven't already, definitely listen to some speeches. Um, Beyond Vietnam is my favorite Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speech of all time, um, and his letters from Birmingham jail. Some of my favorite speeches and letters. Um, but yeah, as always, uh, love deeply, love yourself, love others, um, laugh hard as hell, laugh hard as hell, and live your life to the fullest. I'm gonna get at y'all next time. Peace.